Hi. So today I just want to talk about how to be more professional. Yeah, so a few people ask me questions like, how do you come off as professional? And this is something I also didn't know when I was like starting off like early in my career. I think I've worked in a professional setting for like 8 years now, and over time you kind of get it, but when you're starting off, it's like really all over the place. Yeah, so of course I'll start with the tiny things which you shouldn't get wrong, the ones which instantly convey professionalism or non-professionalism, yeah, the lack thereof. Yeah, so um, then after that I'll give you what I feel is the most important quality for professionalism, like what factor gives you the greatest amount of professionalism in someone else's mind. Yeah, so the first things which you must do to come off as professional. So first thing is appearance, because that's the first impression that people get from you. So human beings, if you whether you know this or not, like we are instinctive beings. We've got an animalistic part of us, and that one um, it affects things like the intuition, and people judge in as much as we say don't judge, but people judge you based on how you look the first time um, that you meet them. So it's not their fault, it's the only thing they have to form um, opinions about you. Yeah, they need to get certain information about you from the start, and sometimes those opinions might be very wrong, but they need information to get to a certain place. So that's how our brain works. It works in stereotypes. Yeah, so when you meet someone for the first time, you come up with all these stereotypes, and then only after getting to know them, that's when you kind of get the true sense of who they are, and whether they're things like trustworthy, whether they're fun, whether they're a good or bad person. Yeah, so all those things. So appearance is like number one most important thing. So if you want to come off as professional, just make sure your appearance looks good. Like, it doesn't have to be like all the way up there, like wearing suits and everything, but just be clean. Yeah, make sure, like, you know, you're fresh cut. At least you shouldn't be like totally unshaven and yeah, raggedy looking. No, don't be that. Yeah, make sure at least you convey cleanliness and smartness. Yeah, you should look smart. And after appearance, the next thing which conveys professionalism is being competent at what you do. So if you're someone who is running a business, and I think business people struggle the most with looking professional, because if you're running a business, no one tells you how to dress. Like you wake up and you just wear on whatever you want, and then you head out into your business. But those things will have it conveys certain information to your clients. So your clients have a certain judgment of you based on the way you look, and yeah. So make sure that you're competent. So competency is by making sure whatever task you do. So if you're someone who, maybe you're a secretary, make sure that you work according to your tasks. There's a baseline which your employer will need, and you should make sure you're above that baseline, like way above actually. Yeah, so don't do an average job, like just be really good at your work, because remember, your work is your signature, and you're communicating who you are through your work. It should be so good that after some time, when someone picks up and sees the work that you did, then they'll be like, who did this work? Then they'll say, oh, that person. Yeah, and then that's taking pride in your work. And competency also means, yeah, so there's that baseline, but go above it. Don't be like average, just be above average to excellent. Yeah, in fact, just be excellent. There's no getting around it. You might as well just do your work perfectly, because it takes almost the same amount of energy to do something poorly as it does to do it like excellently. So just aim for excellence all the time. Yeah, so be competent. Don't fail, because once you're carrying yourself out as a professional, but if you fail to deliver that basic minimum, people will know that you're not a professional. In fact, you're incompetent. So incompetence is like the major, I think that's the reddest flag of of competence. Yeah, so people will know like, no, this person is not professional. So you can wear all the smart clothing you want, do all the other factors that I'm going to talk about in here, but if you're just not good at your job, if you just don't deliver, then there's no professionalism there. Yeah. And the next thing that I think conveys professionalism is politeness. So like I started working in a professional setting about maybe eight years ago, and I was fortunate enough to run into a boss who was very big on politeness, and I didn't know like it was that big a deal. But then now that I've worked like in different settings and I see the feedback that people give, I can tell like he was 100% spot on. So politeness communicates professionalism for two reasons. So the first reason is that it shows that you're in control of your emotions, and being in control of your emotions shows that you're a professional. Yeah, so when you're angry, for instance, you're mad at a client, then you have to communicate that in a really nice way. Don't go out there yelling and everything like that. That's like total unprofessionalism. But if you can communicate it well, like, okay, this is where I draw the line, and let's have boundaries and here and here and here, then your client will get that message and they'll respect you more, and they'll know that I'm dealing with a professional here. Yeah, and the second reason that politeness is good is for the people who are like judging you from the other side of things. They'll be like, this person is always like courteous, like it's being courteous. In fact, that word court, it comes from the word court, and if you know like history, the word court is like royalty. Yeah, so royalty, the king, I think the queen, and then all these nobles. So that word courteous. So people who have got like good mannerisms are considered to be like courteous. Yeah, so there's some royalty in being polite. Yeah, and that's why you find that if you look at like the royals, I think there's only one monarchy in Europe right now. Yeah, but they're big on manners and all these things. So yeah, being polite gives you that royalty appeal of things. Yeah, so if you just want to look more professional, just start using words like kindly, please, also the thank you. Yeah, so of course people are tired of reading the emails like kind regards, but there's a reason that's so popular, because that is how you communicate that you're professional. You don't lose your mind. Yeah, and then when you're upset with someone, there's a saying that you can tell someone to go to hell in a nice way, so nice that they look forward to the trip. So by being polite, you find other ways of communicating your anger and all these things. So for instance, if you work in a professional setting, then you know that with all due respect is like someone has lost their mind now and they're trying not to insult the other person. So they'll say with all due respect. So if you're someone who comes across that, then you know that you should actually just put a strike line through that and then say it's actually with no respect at all, Yeah, but they can't accuse you of saying that because you put it like really nicely. So being polite and being courteous will make you look professional more than anything. And then the next thing which communicates professionalism is being confident. And being confident, of course, nobody starts off being confident. In fact, if you're at the first day of your job, you usually have like this probation period where you have to like prove yourself to everyone, and in that time, you notice that you're kind of living in fear, and you're having to prove your worth. Yeah, so one of the things about starting is it's okay. Being scared is normal, like 100% normal. So embrace that, embrace the fear, and just know that over time, if you become more competent, you will get the confidence. Yeah, and the body, when it's not confident, has got these ways of showing things. So you find that someone is slouching, or they're withdrawn, or they're pacey. Maybe you're moving your hands a bit more often than not. Like you're just not in control. So your lack of confidence has to show in some funny ways, but that's okay. So the thing is to just keep on showing up, and you can get some power poses. So for instance, you can you can move your feet, put your feet a bit more apart and adopt power poses. So this is a power pose, and putting your feet apart is a power pose. Sitting upright is a power pose. And what happens is when you adopt those power poses, you actually start feeling more confident as a result. Then over time, when you do this over time, then it'll become a natural part of you, and you will be able to just be confident in your role because of the competence and the wins that you score in your job or in whatever endeavor it is will make you more confident. Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing on confidence. There's one aspect which I think many people don't know about, and this is something I only learned like recently because I was agnostic for like 15 years, but the one thing which gave me like a lot of confidence and like took away all these anxieties and everything was reading the Bible. Strange enough. Yeah, so there was a friend of mine who like moved to a foreign country, and he told me that he would get anxiety from being far away from home and all these things, like being lonely, and that the only way he would deal with that was by reading the Bible for, I think, just like 10 minutes, and he would find that that anxiety goes away. And this is someone who wasn't like religious. It was just a gift from his dad, and that little gift would do that with his anxiety, to like wash out his anxieties away. So when I was hit like with went through a phase of like anxiety, I remembered that, and then I picked up a Bible and like I just started reading, and strangely enough, after like I think like 3 verses in, like you find the anxiety just like kind of goes away. I don't know what it is about it, but now that I'm like no longer agnostic, now I'm like Christian full time. I've noticed that the Bible has got this way of you feel like it tells you to be confident. Yeah, in fact, I think if you read like the Bible enough, you'll find that Jesus usually yells at his disciples a lot whenever they're experiencing fear. He's always saying, "Don't you have faith? Don't you have faith?" You know. So whenever you find yourself like being scared as a Christian, then chances are there's some lack of faith there. So you need to trust God more. And yeah, the number of times the Bible says be strong and courageous, guys, is crazy. I think it says that in many different ways and in different places. So and this is like a divine source of authority. So you find that by reading be strong and courageous, be strong and courageous, be strong and courageous over and over and again, and it's like from a divine source, the most powerful source, then you find that you have this level of confidence which you're not even aware about. And I noticed this from my mother. Like my mother will be someone who is in a negotiation and dealing with like, you know, big businessmen, like trained, and she'll just do the negotiation and I'm there watching her, and then she's totally crushed the negotiation, and then she'll come back and say, I'm really bad at negotiation. And here I am thinking like, wow, she totally crushed the negotiation. I was thinking she would get to this price and she took them lower, you know. But that's something the Bible gives. So if you're not Christian, yeah, you feel free to discard this. But if you're someone who wants to try it, give it a shot. I promise you, you can come and leave your story with me later. Yeah, and now the big one. So this one is the big one. The biggest factor for professionalism, and the one which conveys the most professionalism, is communication. Yeah, so communication is, I think, often overlooked, but it's a big thing in the industry, guys. And I only rediscovered this because I'm a freelance writer on Fiverr, and Fiverr scores like their sellers based on certain metrics. And one of the things that I think people would like, they do their work really well and they deliver value and everything, but they'll fall short on communication. And funny thing is, the business of selling and providing services to other people, to whether they like something, that's up to them. But communication is the one factor that you have total control over. You know, so if someone reaches out to you, sends you an email, says, "Hi, my name is this," you get back to them quickly. That's already communicating that you're professional. If you get back to them after 2 days, then that's already unprofessional. And then there's also updating people. Like, so if somebody's gotten like a task and they've ordered like a task with you, which is supposed to communicate in, which is supposed to do in 3 days. So they buy from you. I'm talking about freelancers here. So I actually need to do a video about freelancing, because I'm kind of entangling the corporate side of things, yeah, and the freelancing side of things. So freelancing is essentially just doing the same things you do at the office, but online. Yeah, so don't get that that twisted. Yeah, so one of the things is when somebody places maybe an order, and then it's a 3-day order, and you communicate after they order it from you, maybe they pay that $200 or whatever it is. Then after like a day, you keep quiet, and then on the 3rd day, you just go and deliver. Boom, here it is, done. So Fiverr would score you like, even if the delivery is really good, it would give you like that, but then it will rate you on communication, because communication is something which conveys professionalism at the highest order, at the highest standard, actually. Yeah, so you find that on day 2, if you communicate more, just by saying, oh, hi, I'm working on your thing, yeah, it's going to be ready in so and so days, or be ready by this deadline. Or sometimes even if you even fail to meet the deadline, if you just communicate it that you're going to fail to meet the deadline for certain reasons, and that you need to extend the delivery date, then that will make you more professional than someone who just keeps quiet, and on the 3rd time you just go, oh, I need 1 more day. The client will be like, okay, what is this? What are we doing here? You know, so communicate really well. And yeah, so before someone approaches you, when they just approach you, communicate well. As you're doing whatever task it is, keep them updated. That is professionalism. And when you deliver it, whatever it is, whether it's good results or bad results, depending on which sector you're in, you can communicate that well. Because even like the best doctors, I actually heard a podcast recently that there's a doctor who would deliver bad news in a really nice way. And for just that, like just being thoughtful about how he communicates, less people actually would rate him poorly, or I think he also avoided a lot of lawsuits as a result. Yeah, so just communicating clearly communicates that you care for them, that you take whatever project it is serious for those people. Yeah, and if you have any other tips or ideas, kind of leave them in the comments for me, so that I get back to you about what you've learned over the course of your life. Like what other tips can make someone more professional, because I've been doing this for like professionally, maybe in a professional setting for close to 10 years, but there's always more to learn. So yeah, and I think that's also something which shows professionalism. Like you don't have to know it all, and you need to have a beginner's mindset for a long time and be looking to improve and getting feedback. Yeah, asking for feedback is also another way of coming off more professional, especially if you're a business person. You just asking your client, oh, how did we do? Did you like this? What didn't you like about our services? Because you're not perfect. Yeah, so the fact that you care. So even if the client wasn't happy with something, the fact that you asked would make your business look more professional and more caring about what it is, because it shows that you're looking to improve and that you value what they think about you. Yeah, so if this video helped you in any way, yeah, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And you can also comment what other tips you learned from your own experience on how people can be more professional. I'll see you guys in the next video, and